Just in time for spooky season, Netflix is bringing us True Haunting, 2 creepy true stories that involve malevolent spirits and those they attacked. Executive producer James Wan presents supernatural tales through dramatic recreations and eyewitness testimony. So this 5-episode series features 2 separate stories. One is of a college kid who is tormented by an unknown spirit, and then another about a family who moves into a house that's haunted by its traumatic past. I'm not typically into the dramatic recreations in documentaries. They're just generally not executed particularly well, and then tend to venture into the cheesy category more than anything. Here, the sequences are surprisingly filmed well and then edited into a cohesive visual that enhances the narration that we get from our interview subjects. I think what also helps this in both accounts is that the players look similar to their real-life counterparts, adding the illusion of realism to these portrayals. Now, the first story encompasses 3 episodes that are each about 35-ish minutes. And while it can feel a tad lengthy just because of some slowness, we get a bunch of supporting background and development on those who are being interviewed about their experiences. And I appreciate this because the interviewees are featured so prominently that we get to be able to judge the veracity of their claims through their mannerisms, their reactions, even emotional responses. The skeptic in me had me rolling my eyes a bit in the first episode. I wasn't trying to actively disbelieve the people recounting their experiences, but I also wasn't just blindly believing every word they said as utter truth. But after hearing story after story, which were corroborated through different separate accounts, my skepticism began to fade. And then the eeriness, that took hold, and a couple of times, just thanks to some production and the interviews, I got chills at just imagining what took place. Now, of course, these still could be wild fabrications, but the subjects come across as sincere, so I guess I'm a sucker if they're not true. Now, from a production standpoint, the first story, it is creepy and atmospheric. The settings are limited, staying mainly in a college dorm and then the forest that borders the school. And both of these allow for dark and shadowy sequences, which the filming then exploits to craft sequences that are foreboding. They gave off a vibe that makes you stare hard into the dark, just to see if you can spot any movement from sinister forces. Now, thankfully, there aren't any jump scares that are utilized to artificially create anxiety or fear. The storytelling can accomplish that all on its own. And it does. The account also doesn't leave us hanging in limbo. There is a clear conclusion to what happened, and then even provides some explanation for us as viewers. Now, when these are revealed, it can somewhat weaken the accounts, but then it really depends on when you believe the order of events took place. If they play out as told, then it's freaky, believable. If not, then it's a hoax built upon some wild historical lore. For the second account, we follow a family who buys this semi-mansion in a deal that's kinda too good to believe. Once there, they begin to hear, feel, even see some wildly unnerving presences that appear to be threatening and cautioning. Now, the interviews we get for this 2-episode story, they're fairly focused on the family itself, without a bunch of external witnesses to corroborate the claims. It's not like we don't get some backing from friends, but it's definitely a different presentation of proof than what we received in the first account. Now, the visual presentation, it takes on a different aesthetic as well for this portion. Instead of having solely actors recreating the actions that are being recounted, we also get miniature models of the home and then the residents to kind of show their placement during certain situations. And while it is a bit unsettling to see these models, they also sometimes trivialize the story so that it made the accounts come across as more fantasy than fact. But what does add a terrible amount of credibility and then distress to the production is we get to watch home video recordings of this clairvoyant who visits in an attempt to rid the home of the tormentors. It wasn't so much the visuals as it was the audio that sent chills up me. I got goosebumps just because of the intensity of what's transpiring on the video. And just like with the first story, this could have been a complete hoax, using friends to just concoct some strange tale of a haunted house. But to what end? Now, something I wish the documentary had addressed, specifically within the second portion, is that while the mom, dad, and younger brother are interviewed about the experiences, the older brother is never seen or heard on camera. We're told of his existence and then the relationship that he had with his younger sibling, but there wasn't even a title screen to say that he declined to be interviewed. The omission, it just felt strange and then a bit suspect. mean, I can understand why he may not want to take part in it, though. I think, though, if he is a skeptic of all that went on and then wanted to be the naysayer, it would have been a great addition to the accounts, allowing a contrarian perspective from someone who was actually there, rather than just all of the supporting interviews with nothing to contradict or detract from their supposed truth. This is an easy and fun watch, especially for October. The accounts come across as credible and trustworthy, even though there's no way to actually prove their truthfulness. The visual presentation, it's effective in creating an unsettling and spooky atmosphere, complementing the disturbing interview accounts of these supposed true hauntings. And while some of the storytelling can feel a bit slow, the series uses its time efficiently to deliver chilling tales that might just keep you up at night. There's no sex or nudity, some profanity, and some violence. Now, as a reminder, I don't give couch ratings to documentaries, but I do recommend checking out True Haunting on Netflix. It's quick, atmospheric, and a little bit spooky. Okay, do you believe in hauntings? Have you ever experienced one? I would really love to hear about it in the comments below if you did. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.